Well, hello, my name is Mateusz and I'm the community manager for Ansha Studios, and I am here today with Magdalena Cielecka, the producer of Gamedec,
Hi.
and Marcin Sergiusz Przybyłek, who is the author of the book... I have to drink my coffee. The book saga, the author of the book saga. So, we are here today to do a dev stream about the lore and origins of Gamedec. So, without further ado, I have one first question for Marcin. How did you came up with the idea of writing a game deck?
Well, it was quite a simple thing. I was always loving video games. I played them a lot. And those days, journalists didn't like video games very much. They said it was shallow excitement and not very serious thing. And I disagreed. So first I wrote short stories. They were called Grao Story. They were published in Polish video games magazine Świat Gier Komputerowych, and it lasted 3 years. And then I said, well, in those short stories, I was trying to convince the reader, players, that games are something more than just a shallow excitement, which is true. And then I said, it is too little. It is too little. Well, those short stories are just in one magazine, and I want to create something bigger. So I tried to find something, a hero who would be able to show how big potential video games have. So it obviously had to be in the future, rather far future, and it had to be a hero who has a possibility to enter many kinds of games to show many problems of players and of the games of the future. So I went to the meadows, I looked at the sky, and then I said to myself, Gamedec, the game detective. He will be able to enter many games and show many problems. And this is how it started.
How many years ago was it?
I think it was 2001, but the first story was published in Polish science fiction magazine Nowa Fantastyka in 2002.
Okay, so it's quite a long time.
Yeah.
18 or 19 years.
Yes, something like that.
Okay, so without further ado, I will switch to the gameplay. We will play the backers build. So this is the build which is available for the people who backed us on the Kickstarter. So let's do it. Let's do our fancy animation. Yeah, I like it. I have spent 1 hour yesterday to set up this things, and it looks awesome. So it has to be perfect. For me, it has to be perfect. I'm a streamer as well, so it has to be. Okay, so this is the start of our backers build. There is a little introduction to the story. We speak with a developer which kind of looks like Marcin. I don't know if that was on purpose.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. The first idea for this person was that it was an insurance agent, a very sneaky character, and who has a very dark agenda. And then somebody in Ansha Studios said, hey, he looks like Marcin, so let's do that. Let's put him here. But originally, it was not supposed to be like that he looks like me.
To be completely honest, when I joined the project, I was 100% sure it was based of you. It was like, yeah, that's what you get when you're a writer of the world in which the game takes place. You basically can say, this character will be me. So I was like, okay, we can do that. So when you told me that it's just a coincidence, I was actually pretty shocked.
Well, I like that. Let it be like that. I was more curious about this about this black figure on the right side of the text. That this is more like me, and it was the idea of Sebastian Brzusczak, the graphic artist, that should be me, not this person in isometric view.
So we have our first option to choose, and we can choose either high city or low city. Martin, can you in one sentence describe high city and low city? What's the main difference?
Really, one sentence, yes. Well, in lower parts of Warsaw City, it is dark, and not very rich people live there, but more poor people live there. And in high parts of Warsaw City, there is a lot of sunshine, and there are nice apartments there, and a lot of rich people there. Was it one sentence?
Yeah. I stand correct. So it was one sentence. So let's move on. So
okay.
For the purpose of this demo, I will pick high city because I'm always playing with low city. So let's see what happens. I was born and raised in Warsaw High City.
Right.
There was a question about monuments in Warsaw City, because many people from Poland are actually curious if we will see anything from today's Warsaw in the game.
I don't know yet, because the old Warsaw in this game, in Gamedec verse, is very, very low and in ruins. But not all the town. The old town is preserved. It stands behind big, thick walls, and you can visit it in Gamedec verse. I'm pretty sure we will not see it in the game. But I was talking to the artists, and they wanted to put some Polish accents like siren, Warsaw siren, or this horse human guy from Krakow. I don't know, Laconic. I don't know how it's called in English, or the lady in the striped dress from Mazowsze or Śląsk band. So maybe there will be, but I don't think there will be monuments, especially in this game, depicting some looking like nowadays monuments. I don't think so.
Okay, so we have another introduction to the game deck. So we have 4 options, 4 professions we can choose from. There's a slave, who is a person with ties to the world of crime. Infotainer, which is kind of like influencer. And a person who likes to obtain information, to process the information, and to trade information. Glazier is a technician, is an IT guy who knows his stuff about computers. And we have a scalpel with an extensive knowledge of medical treatments and surgeries, etc. Am I right?
Yes, more or less, you are right. Because every game deck has his or her past. Game deck is a person who usually decides to cross the line to become a game deck, although there is no academy of game decks, there is no high school of game decks. Usually you have to get disappointed with the reality, with life itself, to become a game deck. Usually those people have interesting past. For example, who being a doctor decides to become a game deck, who being an engineer decides to be a game deck. Always interesting stories behind these people.
Okay, so for the purpose of this demo, I will pick Glazier because I would like to show you some options for this profession. This is our profession tree. So every time you make a decision in a dialogue, maybe not every time, but a significant decision is being made in the dialogues, or a certain action is taken, you will get aspects, and aspects are like points you can spend on professions. So we have many aspects, so they might be related to your origin and to one of your characteristics. So if you want to be an infotainer, you will have some characteristics which are tied to this profession, such like energy expression, optimism, etc. When we go for a medical branch, you will have empathy, trust, compassion, etc. And if we want to go as a sleeve, which is kinda extended, I can see right here. determination, authority, indifference, impatience, and the last one, the blue one, the one we picked earlier, so the glazier, is all about IT, logic, facts, rules. So it's pretty handy for a detective, I believe. So whenever you have enough aspects, so if we take a look of the infotainer, you will have 3 yellows required. So if you pick some dialogue options or actions during the course of the game, and you will have 3 yellows available, you can unlock the infotainer. And despite we have chosen the glazier as our first profession, you can unlock most of them in the final game. It all depends on the choices you will make. So for start, we can pick glazier, and immediately this option becomes available in the dialogue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. For now, the color names for those aspects, yellow, green, red, blue, they're connected to the Jungian division of psychological types. So there is some sort of nice psychology here, and the game is sort of a psychological test for the player. Not a very serious one, but not a very shallow one.
Okay, so we have picked High City as our origin. So I think lore-wise it would be advised to say that I like this view, because we are experiencing something very posh and rich. It's a kind of nice apartment to have, so I believe we are kind of rich.
There was a long time when we were wondering whether there will be an apartment at all. I wanted it to be very much. I wanted for this game to have an apartment, because in Gamedec world it is extremely important for the Gamedec to have the possibility to approach the window, to sip a whiskey, to think about the case he or she solved, to grasp this atmosphere of philosophical questions that come to his or her mind. Gamedec has his or her place, and this apartment was extremely important to me. But for 2 years, I think, of development of this game, we didn't know whether there will be an apartment. So I was extremely happy when I got to know that there is, and I even was able to put this picture on the wall, which is the symbol of Gamedec. There's this demon and angel. I'm really happy that it hangs over there, although I also didn't know whether it would be possible to hang this picture of it.
We have a lot of questions about the cooperation of the author with the game producer. So Magda, it's a question for you. How do you like working with Marcin? Do you have any differences, and how do you resolve any queries?
I think we have like lots of differences, but that's what like the healthy teamwork looks like, because apart from Marcin, who is our writer, we have 4 narrative designers and also level designers on the team I'm working with. So there is like a whole bunch of different viewpoints, whole bunch of different ideas, I would say goals to achieve when writing. So there is a lot of discussions, there is a lot of exchanging views, finding common ground, or maybe like allowing the game to simultaneously go into 2 directions, since you can choose different options. So well, from the producer's standpoint, I would say it's like a lot of creative chaos, and well, chaos is not the favorite thing we producers have in projects, but I would say it works very well for the the core idea of being the sum of your choices and having possibility to like experience different point of views and role play your own game deck. So I guess I I accept it with all the hard facts about not having everything in control.
I have a question about voice acting. We want to have a partial voice acting, so a basic greeting, so hello Gamedec, for example, and a second greeting, which is like, oh, hello again, nice to see you again, something like this. So you will have the option to fill into the character, so the voice might give you a hint how to read certain characters. So if you have a very big guy who's behind the bar and he says something like "Hello, Gamedec," you will have to know that he's a tough guy. So the basic voiceovers. It's kind of expensive to do all of them, especially in a game like this with plenty of text to read. But we believe that a partial voiceovers would give you some sort of idea who the person you're talking to is. You're asking about the main quest or everything. So I believe that we want to do the voiceovers for the most crucial NPCs in the game. I don't know right now if we are going to do voiceover for every character. You can.
I know the answer for that. We will have voiceovers, like the partial voiceovers for basically every character in the game.
Okay.
And it is, as you said, it's like the first, second meets of the character. It is basically for you to be able to read the character very, very quickly. So first of all, when you hear the tone of the voice, or I don't know, the emotions behind the voice, it tells you a lot. But also the wording can be telling. For example, someone can be like "Hello Gamedec," and someone can say something like "Not you again." And this is like the completely different experience. You can start the interaction with some kind of assumptions about how this may play out. And we, as for the, for example, Gamedec as such. We had actually a pretty huge discussion about whether Gamedec should be voiced, and the main reason we decided not to go this way is because role playing is such an important feature here. So it is very hard to not get this immersion breaking experience when you chose your avatar, chose your background, have this specific type of person in mind, and then you hear it's like completely different from what you were imagining from the character or tone or whatever else. So we thought that it's imagination is like the best mechanic here to flesh out the character. So this is our main reason for the fact that Gamedec will be silent.
Yeah. Frankly saying, I don't like the full voiceover because actors usually read the text much slower than I read. So I'm getting impatient when I wait for them to finish reading the line when I have already finished reading it.
Yeah, in the meantime, we have a call from Geoffrey Haggis. Who wants to hire us. So we don't know any details, we just know where to go and where to meet them. So as a Gamedec, we can see that this guy is in a rush, so we can negotiate a down payment, I believe.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, in Gamedec you will have to read a lot of people's I don't know, characteristics, ideas, inspirations, motivations, etc. You can clearly see that this guy is loaded with cash, so let's negotiate a down payment. This is what I would do. Yeah, well, we have an option to check the computer, to check the couch, and to configure the bliss. And I will have to. I would like to ask Marcin about the couches and the idea of how to connect to a virtual or a sensory world in the world of Gamedec.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to point out that this drone, advertisement drone, which we could see in the window, it's a rather common view. The adverts in Gamedec are common. So how to get into the net? Well, it's a complex thing because, well, I'm a doctor, so I decided to do it the proper way. So first of all, you've got to undress and put on the suit. We don't have the animation of putting on the suit yet. I don't know if we will have, I hope so. But why the suit? Because you enter the net sometimes for 1 day, 2 days, sometimes for 4 days even. So you have to have an overall which will take care of your body, which will prevent the bed sores, which will prevent the muscular atrophy, and which will keep you warm. So this is the first thing. The second thing is that you should attach to your body the nutri-fluid, which will give you food during your session. The third thing is you should swallow the game pill. It's a drug containing a lot of nanobots that switch your metabolism, so you don't have to worry about overfilling of your bladder or colon. And the next thing, I don't know which one, is that you sit on the couch and put on the helmet, which is the most intricate part of the technology. So you lie down on the couch, which will double the work of the overall of the suit and prevent the bed sores. And you utter the command of devitalization. Devitalization is a process done by helmet, and it does what we do every day falling asleep. When we fall asleep, and we dream about running, jumping, and so on, our limbs lie still. We don't wave our hands or move our legs, although we dream about running or jumping. So devitalization in Gamedec is pretty much the same, although done by tech. So after that, we may enter the menu, the net menu, and enter the game. And after and when we go out of the game, we will log out, and then we go through the procedure of revitalization. Without the procedure of revitalization, we are not able to go out of the game because our body is, you could say, switched off, our senses and our muscles.
Yeah, I think that explains how we get into the net. In the meantime, we have a question for Magda. Are the dialogue skills or the persuasion skills going to be a one line, so like a skill check? For example, like in I don't know, Fallout series, when you have to have a skill at a certain level to do an action, and does it instantly resolves the problem, or is it more like back and forth, so you have to really persuade some persons to achieve something?
That's a very good question, and a really complicated answer for that, so I'll try to keep it short. Well, in the typical dialogue that you have, you basically have like this binary way of having a dialogue options. So if you have a specific skill, it will 100% work in the way you wanted to use it. So there is no probability of you failing because the skill is not high enough or something like that. That said, using specific skill might have some consequences you didn't think about, because basically the fact that you can do something doesn't always mean that you should do that thing. So if you want to, for example, hack something and you have the skill, you will do it. You won't make a mistake. You won't fail at that action. But whether you will, I don't know, piss someone off with hacking a specific device, it's a completely different thing. And the other thing is that we have this system for interrogation that is less connected with skills as such, but is basically built around the fact that you need to try to understand how your how the other person like works. So, for example, if you should apply pressure when questioning, or whether you should be nice or scary or whatever else. So you're trying basically to persuade and manipulate and find a way of gaining the information that you need to have. And it's less connected with the skills because it's mostly based on your perceptiveness as a player.
Okay, so it's kind of complicated, but I believe we explained it, how this works. If you have any questions, please do post it, because we are here to answer some questions like this today. In the meantime, I will just click on some options and just move on.
Am I seeing it right? You are talking to Bliss now?
Yes, I am talking to the AI made by the Blue Whales. Yeah, so coincidentally, it's the same company which we are presented by the Geoffrey Haggis. So we have to go to this HQ of this company. So yeah, I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but yeah. In this case, it's you will hear this name a lot.
We know, but we can't tell. So yeah.
Yes, but it was also a funny story about this character, this Bliss, this artificial intelligence, because at first one of the designers wanted just a companion in the flat, in the apartment, and they said, well, it's too Blade Runner-ish. Well, in the last Blade Runner, we had such a companion, and in Gamedec there are such solutions, which are a little bit more intricate. So I propose that this character should be an AI of the apartment and taking care of the apartment. I mean, not dusting it because it's a hologram, but taking care of the soft, of the shopping, of food and everything else. And its side ability is to keep the company. And Bliss will have 4 types of personality. For the demo, we have 2, but in the full game, it will be 4 types of personality. So the player will be able to choose from the caring one, the funny one, the analytical one, and the conflicting one, which I believe would be very entertaining, because the way of interacting with this character, with this kind of Bliss, will be conflicting it.
Okay, in the meantime, we have another question regarding voice acting. Are you familiar with how Planescape Torment did it? I think that would be a good fit for a game that's narrative heavy. Emphasize it on prominent characters, basically. Have you played Planescape Torment, Magda?
Yes, I did. I mean, years ago, basically. But yeah, that's true. I'm wondering if it would be possible, like in our pipelines and process, to do it that way. Because I mean, I think that what I would really that's like my personal producer's opinion, so probably designers are going to kill me after what they say now. But I think there is value in the fact that you are not especially showing prominent characters in the story. I mean, of course, there will be always like background characters that you probably don't even have the possibility to talk to. But I think that when you, in case of like production values, treat every character in the same way, it's not that easy for the players to assess whether it's, for example, time-worthy to, for example, I don't know, cultivate some kind of friendship or helping someone. Basically, if you know that this is main character that will be in, I don't know, every other case that you are solving, you probably will be less inclined to make that character into an enemy, and you might just brush off someone that you think is just like a secondary character in one case. And it would be very easy to do that, looking at the amount of work that developers put into the character. So I think it would be nice if we didn't give you this heads up and you really need to look out for everything.
Okay, Maciej, you should be happy because someone just wrote that he was in Poland, in Krakow and Katowice, but he didn't found your book in the store, so we are all sold out.
Well, what can I say? There are bookstores where there are my books, and there are bookstores where you cannot find them. It's a free market.
I believe that you have digital versions as well. So
yes, they are always available, and audiobooks, but they are in Polish.
Yeah, we have a first chapter of the English version of the first book on our Steam. So if you want to check the first chapter, you can go to Steam and download the first chapter. Okay, in books you were one of many game decks. What about in the game, Magda?
Can you rephrase the question? I'm not sure if I understood it correctly.
In books we had many game decks. So how about in the game? Are we the only game deck in the game?
Yes. Okay. Now I understand. But I'm wondering how to answer this question.
I think
not spoiling too much. Basically, yes, there are other game decks.
We can talk about the profession of game deck.
Yeah, so of course you are not the only game deck there is, and you will meet other game decks. And I feel that trying to say anything more will be spoilery, so I will end at that. Okay?
Yeah, game deck is just a profession. So it's a game detective. So in the 22nd century, when you have so many sensory worlds of virtual games, you will have to be aware of the fact that there might be some problems within the game, and you would just call a game deck to help you. So it's like a profession. So you need a certificate. You need to pay for a course. I believe you have to be a game deck as a profession. You can be for example, in real life, you can be a cook. You can be a waiter, a programmer, etc. And a game deck is just another profession in the 22nd century. So many people are game decks. Not many people are good game decks. So you will have to work for your reputation.
Yes, it's quite easy to become a game deck. To call yourself a game deck, you have to pass psychological tests. You have to pay for the license, and that's all. And of course, you have to have an equipment. But whether you are good or not very good one, well, your clients will decide. So it's too easy to become a game deck.
Yeah, in our game, in our backers build, you have to be a respected game deck because the CEO of the Blue Whales Interactive is calling to you personally. Yeah. So
well, he's not CEO. He is the director of artificial intelligence. Yes, but he is a big fish. Yes.
Okay, so the main reason we are here is because his son Fredo is locked in one of the virtual worlds, in the sensory worlds. We have to deduce which world is it and how to get him out.
Is Jeffrey Huggies visible on your screen still? That's in this fancy red jacket.
Yeah.
Because I have a delay, so I'm not sure. Pay attention to his right side, where you can see those seahorses.
Yes.
They are not. It's not a coincidence. Everybody in Gamedec has a very fancy wardrobe, and those clothes sustain the climate, the temperature, and the moisture. So there are two. One is for the moisture, one is for the temperature, and it's quite common that the clothes of the future take care of your temperature and of your comfort. Of course, the more money you have, the more fancy the wardrobe is. and so on.
We have a question about
Mm-hmm.
the problems and solutions. So I don't know if you're familiar with Age of Decadence, but one of the main issues with its core design was the fact that it pretends to have multiple solutions to a given problem, but it's really one solution per archetype, so a set of skills and statistics. But how about Gamedec? Will we have multiple solutions for a problem with the same character?
Is it for me or for Martin?
I believe it's a design question, so we will have to answer professionally.
Okay.
So let's do it, Magda.
Sure. So basically, yes, there are many ways of solving a problem. That is basically because of the fact that we have the deduction system. I'm not sure if you can show it at this point, but if you can, please click on it.
Yeah, we have a deduction.
Yeah, but you haven't logged yet. So basically, when you use deduction system, you gather data that allow you to make some kind of assumptions about what's going on. So if you decide that, for example, someone is guilty or someone is innocent or is being framed, this will guide you in a way of reasoning, way of thinking, and way of problem solving that will be a bit different depending on what you chose. So this is like the first way of differentiating the way you are solving the case. And this is like the first step, because if you decided that someone, for example, is guilty, then you will still have to use your skills and your smarts to attain specific goal in, for example, proving that someone is guilty. So basically, it's not that much, I would say, archetype based, because it really depends on what kind of approach you want to choose. And of course, some approaches will be easier with some archetypes, but it's not like interconnected in that way.
Well, inspecting someone and getting a suspect or a victim, it's not the end of the case. We have some. I can give you an example of a situation in which you will. It's just an example, yeah. You will be presented with a blackmail. So you will get an evidence that someone is blackmailing your client or someone in the world you are investigating, and you will know who is blackmailing who. You will know why, and you will have to decide what to do with the evidence. You can destroy it. You can give it to the person who is being blackmailed, or you can be a friend with the guy who's blackmailing him. To benefit from it. So it's not as easy as it might seem in the beginning. So the more clues you gather, the more information about a character or the situation you will have more options to get a certain outcome. And if you team up with the guy who's blackmailing, you will be you will just, I don't know, scare or intimidate the guy who is being blackmailed, and it might have repercussions in the future. So yeah. It's the tagline of Gamedec. So every decision matters, and you are the sum of your choices. So you'll have to pick carefully options. Of course, sometimes it doesn't have to be ethically or morally acceptable to get a certain decision. It's your way of playing the game. We don't judge. But you have to know that there have to be consequences in the future.
What's more, we tried not to make black and white situations. So the more the player plays and talks and understands the situation, the more he or she realizes that every character in the case has his or her own agenda and causes and goals, and the more the player knows, the more difficult the decision what to do with that is made, because you don't know for sure we try to construct the cases so that the game deck eventually makes a decision that creates the reality. Well, if you say that he or she is guilty, you create that reality. It becomes the reality for you. It is your truth. Later on, you will learn whether it is the objective truth or not. But for the time being, it is your truth, and well, you just created the story.
Okay, so
Yeah, if I also might add to that, because one thing is the objective truth, but also some things are always open to interpretation. So
Yes.
you might decide that someone is like a typical villain or maybe a victim or circumstance. And what I actually really like about that approach is the fact that, for example, when we were playtesting the final few minutes of this specific case, I remember one of the designers saying then, okay, so let's go through the best ending. And I watched this ending and I was like, that's not the best ending. I hate it. That's not what I would choose and say that's my best ending. So depending on what is important for you and what kind of values do you have, you might actually find that there is not like objective way of doing something here that's better or worse, because it's basically very connected to the way that to the things that you want to achieve and things that you value. So yeah, we actually really don't judge with those cases.
we have a question about.
I remember. Excuse me. I remember that conversation. Those I thought exactly the same. This is not the best solution. This is not the best way. And I thought I would do something different. So I think it was our little success that we were able to create such solutions, such endings for this case, that many players consider that this path is the best, this path is the best, or this path is the best. It was based on their judgment, not on objective truth.
Yeah, I have played this demo like 12 times, 15 times, I believe, and
Right.
every time I can see something different or something, some options I didn't know even existed. And when I watch some streams or people playing the game, I'm always curious about the choices they make. And yesterday, I believe I was looking at the Wellemax stream with Krzysztof Wojdyła, our PR specialist, and they had options I have no idea even existed in the game. So it's so complex, but even me playing the game so many times, I see things I have never seen before. And it's amazing to play this game so many times and see so many options available.
Yeah, I could see a situation when our CEO was playing, well, in this location here. And he did something, and the reaction of Jeffrey Haggis was different than when he played the day before. And he said, what the fuck, what just happened? Did you change anything? And the designer who did this these interactions said, no, I didn't do anything. You were just more polite to Jeffrey Haggis before, so he reacted differently now.
Okay, I believe I had an option in which I had to follow Jeffrey Haggis to Fredo, but I decided to wander around his office, and I played the Harpy. And he immediately ran to me and said, "What the fuck are you doing? Do you have so much time? We have hours. My son is in trouble. You should help him." And I was so surprised, because the other day I played the game and I went immediately to Fredo to examine him, and I didn't see this dialogue before. We have a question about the languages, so the language versions. We will have an English with audio and subtitles, and for the other languages we will go with subtitles for Polish, German, simplified Chinese, Russian, French and Spanish. Do we have any release date? It's the 2020. We announced yesterday that the Switch version will be in 2021. So we haven't seen the newest trailer. You can check it out on the IGN's channel, I believe. it's the Switch version announced yesterday.
Yeah, it's quite funny in my opinion.
I'm stalling here because we have two options. We have the infotainer, which is grayed out, and the glacier, which we have unlocked. But if you can see in the professions, we have gained some new things thanks to our dialogues, I believe. Oh no, I was hoping we have something new, but it's too soon to do. But if we have an infotainer available, we could choose this option, but
Yeah.
cannot. So let's just Haggis is just hurrying us up. So let's rush to help Fredo. So,
Yes.
what I want to say is that if you take time and pick more options in the dialogues, you will have more info and you might discover more clues, so the deduction would be easier for you.
Yes, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. We wanted to not to make it such a simple thing. Well, sometimes it is so that when you ask more questions, then you gather more information. But there are some characters who react differently. That is, if you exhaust them too much asking questions, then they will resign. Then they will not want to talk to you anymore because there's something else on their mind. They don't want to be just used.
This is what Magda was talking about. So we have a deduction screen, and this is our first problem to solve. We have to deduce how to help Fredo. So on the left we have clues. So right now we just know that Fredo is excited with something erotic, I believe, because one part of his body is particularly excited. So when we gather more clues, we can deduce some of the outcomes here. And we'll just move forward to another. Okay, so let's do it. Let's do some game decking here. Okay, so let's check the display.
You don't know too much for now.
Yeah, you will have to read and deduce how to help Fredo.
Yeah.
So Fredo has been locked in for over 4 days, which is pretty dangerous. Marcin, can you explain why?
Yes. Well, in the time when this game takes place at the end of the 22nd century, it is said that the proper time of your playing shouldn't exceed 4 days, because if you stay in a game for a longer period of time, the game pool will not work properly, and you will have some metabolical problems with your bladder, with your colon, you will get poisoned by the metabolites of your body. So it is really dangerous. Fredo uses really cool equipment. You can see that there is a lot of money here. So his couch, his helmet, his suit, his game pill is, of course, of the top sort. Anyway, it is dangerous. There's some pieces of equipment that will allow you to stay longer in the net, but anyway, it is not healthy. This is why his father is so concerned, and why you just cannot take off the helmet of the player's head and it would solve the problem. Well, you cannot do that because of this revitalization problem I mentioned before. Without the revitalization, taking off the helmet of a player's head is extremely dangerous. Well, it could end in nothing. It could end just in a headache of a player, but it could cause hallucinations. It could cause some neurological problems, coma, or death even. So Gamedec should not do that, should not just take off the helmet. So the problem is the kid stays in the net for too long. He's exhausted, he's excited, there is no contact with him. How to help him when we don't know which game he's in, because his helmet and his couch covers this information, because it's a discrete system. You cannot know where the player is. So the only solution is to talk to his friend, to maybe to this woman who is lying here on the couch, another couch, to get to know, because the programmer ways failed. Fredo's father is a programmer and he doesn't know where Fredo is either.
Okay, so I would like to show you something like Codex, something named Codex, and it's basically the database of everything we know about the game so far. So if we pick characters, we can examine Bliss, and in the Bliss entry, we can read about Bliss, but in the course of the game, we can unlock even more options to read. So this one is not so rich in knowledge. It's very short, but let's take a look at Fredo. I got Fred's helmet serial number. Believe me, it wasn't easy. So yeah, the things in here will just pop out, pop up or pop out. I don't know which version should I use during the course of the game. So the more clues you have, the more info you have, the more reading you will have here as well. You can read about the virtualiums and different parts of the game, or organizations like the Blue Whales Interactive, which I like. Right here, one part is still closed. So yeah, it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of knowledge to acquire, but it's worth it. You will just get synced into the game very, very fast.
Well, what's more, we try to make it attractive. Well, I'm the kind of a player who reads everything in a game, in a role-playing game, all the books, all the articles, and so on. And I think we kind of address our game to such players. So, because in my books there are a lot of adverts, a lot of news, fragments of programs, hollow programs, where guests are talking about certain problems. Sometimes they know what they are saying. They are professors from academies. Sometimes they are just entertainers who happen to know something as well sometimes. So we decided to create Codex in the same way. So there are not just wiki articles there, there are dialogues, there are fragments of programs, adverts, and so on, so that the player would be entertained by Codex and not bored by the articles. And I've heard it's you can read it with a pleasure. It's also entertaining, not just a source of knowledge.
Okay, so I would like to show you something. I have to say it, but I admire the way the code just behaves. The material is so perfect. I don't know if it's leather or something, but it looks so cool just to run and watch the code. Yeah, I like it very much. So we have a Fredo, we have Geoffrey Haggis, we have a friend of Fredo's, which is Timmy. Timmy got out of the Virtualium. Fredo didn't, but we have a woman next to him, and she doesn't look. I am not a very big fan of saying that someone looks nice or not, but she does look very particular in a very particular way. So let's check the women's coach, because like we can see, she doesn't have a suit.
Yes.
She's wearing her own clothes.
Yes.
We can assume that they are in the same world, but let's just investigate. There is a question about how many worlds we can explore in the game. We have shown you a couple already. We have Harvest Time, which is a farm-like MMO free-to-play game in which people can play with the nature, so harvest crops and pets, etc. We have Twisted and Perverted, which we will be showing later in the stream. And I believe yesterday we had a snippet on the GameStar. So on the GameStars, it's a German service. on GameStar we have shown you a little bit of Knight's Code. I believe it was the first time we have shown you something about another world. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can go and listen to our CEO and executive producer of Gamedec, Łukasz Hatsura, who said a lot about the Knight's Code. So another world and the world of Gamedec.
Yes, and we have shown it in the first release trailer.
Yeah, there was a very quick snippet of Knight's Code. Okay, so Haggis is impatient.
Yes, I like those fragments where we do something, but another NPC, well, in this particular situation, Haggis is watching us. It's so natural. We are doing something, but he is watching. He wants us to do something about his son, and we are interested in a woman he's not interested in. So he comments, "What are you doing? Well, why? My son needs help here, not her."
So the Codex is only readable, I believe. So yeah, if you just click on the Codex, it's just entries and text to read. But as I say, you will have to unlock more options if you want to read more. And do not apologize for stating questions, because we are here to answer them today. Okay, I have to say that I am very pleased when someone states a question, because it's easier for me to conduct the stream if we have questions. So fire away. This is one of a kind opportunity to ask the questions of both the lore and the game mechanics, because we have the author of the book Saga, Marcin, here, and Magda, who is a producer. So if you have questions about the design or the lore, fire away. We have something like which is called the observer port. So you can plug in to the helmet of this woman to see what she's looking at right now. So let's do it.
This is an interesting thing, because sometimes designers ask me whether something is possible in Gamedec or something is impossible, and I say to them, well, Gamedec is not a mummy that is just put in the concrete, and you cannot do anything that I haven't described in my books. And observer port isn't something I have described in my books, but the cases I have described in the saga didn't need such a thing. And here one of the designers said, well, I would like it to be possible, and I said, it's cool, let's do it.
I remember when we were talking about Gamedec for the first time on our first live stream, you were saying something about designers or art designers wanted to have a debris or new papers or paper on the street. And you said that it's impossible because there's
impossible. It's impossible. The paper is very expensive in Gamedec because it is not achievable easily. All the nature turned against humanity, so humanity is hidden in cities' cages, and the availability of wood, and we make paper of wood, is limited. So it is impossible that there is debris made of boxes that are made of papers, especially in lower parts of Warsaw City.
As you can see here, this woman Starlet is just put in a limbo. It's not a virtual world, I believe, so we don't have a background. She's just there. Looks like a paralysis. So we can either question her or offer assistance. I'm a nice guy, so let's offer assistance.
So this is the situation I was talking about. Usually in games, you want to do everything. You want to ask all the questions, and you want to help. And it occurs that in Gamedec, in this game, it is not always possible. Sometimes you have to choose. It is not possible to ask all the questions and at the same time to help her. You will have to feel it, how far you can push.
So let's push. Glacier. Yeah, we have an option of our profession, Glacier, so we can just go straight to helping her. So yeah, it's some kind of an attack. Someone has not noticed that we are trying to interfere and try to wake her up. So she says that she hears laughter. So what's happening? We don't know, but let's do something more. Again, we have an option, Glacier, to activate the firewall. I am a guy who likes logic, so if this is an attack, I would just activate the firewall. The first thing I do every time something is going bad with my PC or something like this. So I have to make sure that I have an antivirus and a firewall running. Okay, so this is an interesting choice, and this is something Martin was saying like 2 minutes ago. We have two options. One is using the jamming barriers, and one is using the reflection barrier. So the jamming barriers will give us more time to save Starlet, and the reflections barrier will just reflect the signal, so we can follow the signal and try to locate the attack. As I said, I'm a nice guy. She looks nice. I like her name, so let's use the jamming barriers. Yeah,
so you decided to protect her.
Yeah, because this is what I do. I like to protect people. I'm a very nice guy. I set up the barriers. I bought us some time, and right now we can question her. We can observe the attack. We can terminate the connection, or just try to revitalize her. I would go with this option. I wouldn't waste time on questioning Starlet, because we can do it later. We don't have much time. I'm going to try to get you out of here. Finally. So, another option, we can unfasten her helmet, but Martin said that it's not very safe to do it right away. We can awaken her by stimulating her senses. Let's do this.
Yes, this is the proper way. Well, the interrupted revitalization process is an unusual thing, so Gamedec has to remember what is the cascade of stimulating the senses. I wonder whether it is in Codex. I remember I wrote it, but I'm not sure if it's implemented yet.
Let's check it.
Let's check it. You should go to...
So it should be the technologies, yeah?
Yes.
Computer couch.
No, down. Revitalization.
Revitalization, yeah.
There should be 2 articles about it. Here you can see an entertainment, the program.
Reconnecting a human to a human being, a complicated process under close control of the helmet. The procedure cannot be disturbed or manipulated. The order in which the senses are awakened is very important, especially that the motor system must be activated last. Yeah, but it's all. That's all. It's
all. There should be 2 articles. One is easy to read, and the other is very techy. And I can see the second one isn't implemented yet. In the second one, you would know everything, but here you will have to
improvise.
Yes.
We have 2 questions in the chat. So the books are only in Polish. It's difficult for people speaking German or English to understand what's going on. So do we think about a translation? Well, it's not a secret that we are doing a translation, because we have the first chapter of the first book available in English right now on Steam. So I believe that when we started the Kickstarter, we had a pledge tier with books available, the first and the second book, because the world of Gamedec, the game, is based on the first 2 books. It is loosely based. It's more like an adaptation of the source material. This is why Martin is with us as a consultant. So he makes sure we don't mix things up. So it's all in order with the lore, and it's all good. So you can see Marcin is laughing, he's smiling. So I think it's all good.
Yeah, and in this Kickstarter, it was written that 2 books would be translated. Yes, two first.
Yeah,
two parts.
the first people who will have the opportunity to read the books are those who backed us on Kickstarter. So we will be having a physical version for those who just achieved some higher tiers while backing, and the digital. And after that, I believe we will just publish the digital and think about the physical. But I believe the digital will be first.
Of course, as an author, I would like all the parts of the saga to be translated, but the 5 parts of it. So, but maybe later.
Okay, but I have a question, and I didn't think about it before, but will we see more books
About Gamedec?
Yeah.
Well, yesterday I was going on a bicycle ride with my wife, and I came up with a splendid idea. Oh my God, it was so fantastic. I wrote it down, and I thought it would fit perfectly into the 6th part of the saga. Oh Jesus, it was so fantastic. And I loved it because the saga ends in a such way that I would like to continue to write more about events that are unsolved yet in the 5th part. So maybe one day I will go back and write the 6th part, and maybe I'd like also to write the 1st and a half part, that is another set of stories set between the 1st and the 2nd tome. So I would like to go back just to Gamedec cases and write more about them, just about the normal Gamedec work. I think I would have 10 good ideas for 10 good stories. But again, I need time, and working on a game doesn't allow me to write. Although I have written a story that is a prequel to all the Gamedec adventures, and it will be available to some backers who backed this year. It was a Kickstarter special, I believe.
Yes.
So it's a big story. It's a big story. I mean, not a small one, and it tells about the beginning of being a Gamedec of Torky Lamor, the main hero of the saga.
In the meantime, I tried to revitalize Starlet, and I failed.
Oh man, how did you do that?
I mixed up one options, the order, and I couldn't do it. So right now she's in coma, but she's alive. Yeah, it's a success.
Yeah.
It's something. It's something.
Congratulations. Didn't kill her.
Yeah, I have no idea why she was there and what she was doing. I was 100%. I can do it and just talk to her right here. But
you know something? I have an idea now. Well, it's not possible in the game yet, but she's lying without the suit. She's cold on the surface of her body. She's overheated from the bed and cold on the top. A human reflex should be to cover her with the blanket, with something, with a piece of clothes. That clothes lying over here. I will talk to the designers to implement such a thing. It would be so human to cover her.
Yeah, but she's not paying us.
Okay.
We shouldn't care because she's not paying us. Joffrey is the one who's paying, so...
I remember when I was a little boy and I was falling asleep somewhere in the flat, my mom used to come to me and cover me with a blanket because she knew I was getting cold. And here, you cannot do that.
Magda, is it possible when I make the wrong decision that I kill an important character in the game and lose a lot of information about the story? Can we kill someone?
Yes, basically yes. Again, I'm trying to, not to get too much into the spoiler zone, but you can kill someone. You can kill someone in the game. You can be responsible for someone dying in the realm, for example. So yeah, there are possibilities to make the whole investigation harder for you. I would say since there is more than one option to solve the case. For example, you didn't have much success with Starlet right now, but still you have Timmy sitting on the chair there, or other ways of trying to get the information. So maybe you'll be lucky and you'll get it right.
Keep your fingers crossed that I don't mix this one up, because it will be a very embarrassing moment for me. How about the comic? I don't believe there was an option of the comic. We have the books.
Well, I was doing a comic, and it was a pretty interesting one because it was online and it was animated and with music. But the project, as with so many projects that you try to do, died because the graphic artist got known worldwide, and he got a lot of commissions, and he said, sorry, I cannot do that anymore because business is business, and so on.
And right now he will be watching the game and the success of the game, hopefully. He will like, Marcin, do you remember the comic we were doing? I would like to do it again. And you will come up with, the license is pretty expensive.
Well, the scenario is still there. I think it's quite a good story. It was called Leanne. It was about a Diginet person who was created by a man who turned out to be a crook, so he got arrested, and she is alone in his flat, and she doesn't know the world she was born to. She has a mechanical body. It is called Mobrium, and a few days later it occurs that his flat is being taken by the police, by the bank, so she's just thrown out, and she is alone in a big city, in Warsaw City, and doesn't know what to do and how to earn money, and she has to earn money just to stay alive. So it's a story about a woman in a Mobrium, a Diginet, a person who was created in the net, who is now a human, that has to survive in a world that she barely knows. But it's a different story. It's not the story of our game.
Okay, so this is the new mechanic we have in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the interrogation bar, I would say. I don't know what's the official name of this. I just like to call it the interrogation bar because it sounds cool.
It's a good name.
We have two options on the right, so we have two secrets to unlock, and we have 3 of them on the left. But people are saying that this is the good option and this is the bad option. I don't believe that we have a bad option, but you have to be warned that these secrets, they might be facts and that they might be something extra, but they don't have to be true. These might be something which might derail you from the case. Oh yeah, a motorcycle. Yeah, I like it. Especially when I'm doing streams. But you have to be aware that these are not always true. So you have to be careful about what some person is trying to tell you if you just go this way. But we have Timmy. I have to see if Timmy is here. 15 years and 10 months old, but it was written, as Marcin pointed out at one point, in January.
In July, the 1st of July.
Oh, so it's the American way, yeah?
Yeah, yes. It's no. It's in January. Yes, you're right. In January.
Okay.
In January. Yeah.
I always got confused with the
No,
numbers. So
And the game, well, the apartment scene begins on the 17th of July.
Okay.
So if the document says he was 15 and 10 months in January, he's 16 now.
Okay, see, he's pretty shy, he doesn't like to be interrogated, so reading some scripts from the Codex might help you in the investigation, in the way you will have to proceed with the interrogation. So
he's oversensitive, he's an artistic soul, and so on.
Yeah, and he doesn't like to be interrogated, so we have to be careful. And he's a kid, so we have to act accordingly. So I would just try to play it softly. So, calm down, kid. Yeah, and he likes it. So yeah, we are going to. I think we're going for the right branch of this dialogue.
It's a choice.
Yeah, it's my choice. I'm in control. This is mine. So
yes.
I
but sometimes tough guys get the best results. You try to be a soft guy, so it will get you some results. But let us remember that this game doesn't judge. So if you choose to be a tough guy, you will get 3 results. Yes.
Yes, but
now, Martin is like the devil over your shoulder. Why should you be nice? You cannot be an asshole.
I have played so many games where you have the paragon system, so you can be good or bad, and I'm always playing the good path. So I always pick the good options. And when I play a game like the 4th or the 5th time, like the Mass Effect saga, I always say to myself, this time I will go renegade. And the first option I have, no, I can't do that. It's mean. I can't do that, and I go the paragon way again.
I understand it completely. I have the same thing.
So yeah, I'm the nice guy, so I always pick the nice. And this is the beauty of Gamedec. We don't judge. You can be, pardon my French, you can be an asshole in this game, and you will get some results.
You know, we want to do something, I think, rather interesting in Gamedec, that if you play tough, if you are not a nice guy, if you are this sort of detective that is interested in only in results, not in being a nice guy, there will be some events, some situations that will be the consequences of it, but also they will be fruitful. You will get the results. You will get the info you need. Even if you will bring somebody to suicidal decisions, then you will be able to get the information from this person and get the results. Of course, at the end of the day, you will have to face the consequences of your actions, but we don't judge. You got the results.
It's kind of awkward to see talking about suicidal things and Martin smiling at the same time.
Well, what can I say? It's a story.
Yeah, it's your story, a part of it. Yeah.
No. It's a teamwork.
Yeah, it is. So we have some options available, and remember that Timmy is pretty unsure about himself, and he's asking us if we are a Gamedec. So yeah, we are. Just to boost his confidence. Can you tell me a little about your work? And you can read that the kid came alive slightly, so he likes it. He likes the profession of being a Gamedec. So let's go this way. And we have unlocked the first secret. So I'll tell you what Fredo looks like in the game. He bought us some skins, and mine was almost as cool as his. And remember that Fredo is a kid, a son of a very wealthy character, so he is used to buy expensive stuff and boost packs in games. You always have the best stuff. So,
and here is something that is very Gamedec-ish, I would say. In a normal detective case, when you have to find someone, you just ask how does he or she look like, and you get the photo, and that's all. And here our hero has to find someone in the game, so the person he looks for, in this case he's looking for Fredo, can look like an old man, a very young man, an old woman, or a very young woman, and he just doesn't know, because in games we wear skins. So it is extremely important in game deck cases to know what skin a person we are looking for is wearing.
Okay, so again, a question about being a game deck. As we can see in this picture, Timmy is very interested in being a game deck, so we can tell him that he has a chance just to get the result we want. Yeah, and he likes it a lot, so... I believe you can ask one more thing. Where did he leave Fredo? On the beach by the big dunes, okay. Let's ask about the details. Oh no! I did the wrong thing. Oh no. I pushed him too hard. But let's just confirm. Yeah, and we're back on our track, so yeah, it's good. Okay, let's talk about Fredo. Let's ask about enemies. Just listen to the story. Yeah, we did it. Oh my god. It was exhausting. Not trying to do the right thing just to unlock the perfect walkthrough is pretty interesting and exhausting at the time, because sometimes when you pick one options, other options become unavailable. So this is what I like about Gamedec, that the replayability is very high, because you can pick a different profession and have different dialogue options. So yeah.
I remember I was working on this interaction, of course. I didn't write it from the beginning. Well, it's a complicated story. Anyway, I was working on it. But eventually, when I was playing it, I was so stressed to do the right thing and so on. I didn't remember what was after what and so on. So it was entertaining even for me. Although I knew it almost by heart.
Hello, will this game have voiceovers? We already answered these questions, and we said that it will be a partial voiceover. So the first and the second meetings with some NPCs will have voiceovers, but not all of the game, not all of the dialogues. Right now we have an information that Fredo is in a world called Twisted and Perverted. And just from the name you can say that it's not a good place to be as a teenager. So let's check the Codex, and we can go back to the Virtualiums and read about the Twisted and Perverted.
The two entries I can see.
Yeah, we have something about combining sex and killing. Well, yeah, definitely a place for a 16-year-old to be.
Yeah.
Okay, pleasure is pleasure, crime is crime.
Yes, you are reading the gossip part, and here is the world part. It's a commercial, yes, of Twisted and Perverted. Do you ever feel like a erotophoniphiliac? Look deep into your soul. Well, erotophonophilia is the paraphilia that causes you to feel the excitement only when you combine sex with the fantasies of killing your lover. So, of course, in Realium, it would be a dreadful thing to do, but there is a game where you can fulfill those fantasies.
Okay, so to sum up, it's not a place you want your kid to be.
No, definitely not.
Okay, so let's do a deduction. What nickname was Fredo using? No. Hype to have Fredo? No.
Yeah.
Let's just talk to Haggis for the first part. Okay, let's talk about the removed seal. Draw a conclusion. Okay. Ask about his opinion. Be professional, because we are professional. And other subjects. And just leave. And I believe that.
How to help Fredo? How to help Fredo?
We don't know what nickname Fredo was using, but how to help Fredo? We can look for him in the game Twisted and Perverted or the Paradise Beach. Tibis was saying that they were in the Paradise Beach, which is like the VR sim date game, where you just take your lovers and dates to have a good time. And it's a good place. It can be accessed by the 16 years old.
Yes.
But we pushed Fredo and Timmy, I believe, yeah, it was Timmy. We pushed Timmy, and he said that Fredo is in the Twisted and Perverted. So this is my deduction. This is my final answer. And we can just go and talk to Haggis again, and you will see that we will have other options in the dialogue available. Fredo could be inside Twisted and Perverted, the world for adults that combines sex and violence. Okay.
Well,
there's an access fee for that virtual, but don't worry, it's all taken care of here. All expenses are on me. Cool.
When we could see the option that we could enter the Paradise Beach game, I remember when I was talking to David Weber, the writer who wrote this Honor Harrington saga, and he said something interesting that when the main hero makes mistakes, they have to be intelligent mistakes. So here, Gamedec could make a mistake and decide that he will or she will look for Fredo in the Paradise Beach, and it wouldn't be a stupid mistake because it is probable that he is there because it's a nice world where sex is also allowed. So why not?
Okay, so let's enter the Twisted and Perverted. Yeah, so this is Twisted and Perverted. It looks dirty. It looks kind of like the Sin City movies.
Yes.
There's a big arrow right here. We have the game rules, so let's download. Okay, and we have new Codex information unlocked, so let's go and check it. Twisted and Perverted. Yeah, we have terms and conditions. If you want to be a quality player, pick a part to talk to them, invite them for a drink, come visit a theater in this location, and then when you're both feeling really good, you know what we mean, try to kill them in some way. This is the way of Twisted and Perverted. Yeah, so people who come to Twisted and Perverted, they know the game, so they know what to do and what are the rules. So do not be intimidated by people approaching you and flirting right away, because people here can get points by either having some fun with someone, having some sexual acts and killing someone, but you get the most points if you combine these two. So if you kill someone when you're having some fun with these characters. But there's some character I have to show you. It's one of my favorite NPCs in this game. But this is Mr. Unicorn.
Yes, I remember when Piotr, one of the designers, said to me, "Well, Marcin, I have an idea that there should be a horse in Twisted and Perverted." And I could see in his face that he was afraid to talk to me about it because he thought it's a so stupid idea. In this world, there are no horses, and he knew that. And he waited for my reaction, and I said, "What horse? It's a splendid idea. It's so funny. It should be there, definitely." So I encouraged him to place this horse there, and he went on even further. He made some sort of a unicorn. We know it's not a unicorn. This piece of this head is just attached to his head. But it was a so splendid idea.
Yeah, and we have the option to rub the horn, and I don't know if I want to do it, but let's do it. If that'll make you feel better.
Oh, because of the context, right?
Yeah, because it's Twisted and Perverted. Yeah.
When someone says "rub my horn," it doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I that'll make you feel better. Thank you, my fluffy friend. He bowed his head with an as crafty look as his crossed eyes allowed. I rubbed the horn. I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, and we are dead. So in Twisted and Perverted, you cannot die. You will just respawn at the beginning of the game in the entrance area. I believe if that's the exit from the subway. But yeah, you cannot die here. You will just if someone kills you, he will just get points for your death.
Well, it's a game, so the game about killing. Well, there are thousands of games about killing, Doom, Quake, and so on. And in this game, you do the same. So of course, you don't die because of being killed. You just respawn.
I like the idea of Mia and Maya, because Mia and Maya looks exactly the same, but the skins are different. And when you go, we have the pandemic right now, but when I was visiting some malls in my area, I always seen a group of girls running around, wearing almost exactly the same clothes and the same hairstyle, etc. I don't know why. I don't get it, but they just looked identical to me. Okay. Let's just interfere. We are a game deck, so we will have to conduct an investigation, and let's talk about Fredo. I'm looking for a kid who was around here with a friend. Oh, that guy. Yeah, so they know something, and they are asking who are we. We can say that we are a game decks, but I believe that at one point, I was believing that game deck is a respectful profession, and Martin said it is not. Okay, can you clarify?
Well, yes and no. It depends on who you talk to, because players like game decks, and usually they respect them. The exception is that is the situation when a player thinks he or she is so good, he or she could become a better game deck. So then that person would not respect you. But usually players want to be game decks. I think that from a certain point of view, every player wants to be a game deck, because game deck is just a very good player who also knows people and is highly intelligent. So why not? Why the hell not? But to other professions, to people of other professions who deal more with realism, with the actual reality, when they hear game deck, what it is it a serious profession? Can you study to be a game deck? What the hell is that? So in detective, in games, so the reactions could be different. Not always you will get the respect. Sometimes you will you will meet someone who is just who doesn't know what it is, who doubts whether it is a serious profession, and you may meet some people who will say it's a funny profession, it's an unserious profession, or it isn't a profession at all. This is what father of main hero of my saga thought of his son, of Torquil Amor, who became a game deck. He was supposed to be a doctor, and started to be a game deck. It was a disaster for the father of Torquil Amor.
Yeah, but people are more keen to help when you say that you're a game deck. I believe, because they never know if they will be in a situation in which they will need to have a game deck to help him. So I just said that I'm a game deck, and I just got something about the Fredo. I like the phrase. In which we are repeating every time we see someone. I like the phrase "I'm game deck." It sounds so cool to say "I'm game deck." It's like I'm Batman. Yeah. I'm a game deck. I solve crimes.
One instance that I'm actually really sorry that we won't have voiceovers for game deck characters.
Yeah. I'm a game deck. I solve crimes in virtual worlds.
It reminds me of Megatron of Transformers. I don't know if you have noticed, but he always begins, "I'm Megatron."
Yeah.
Like someone would forget what he is and what his name is. I'm Megatron.
And Optimus Prime always ends a Michael Bay movie with "I'm Optimus Prime." Like
he was a journalist.
Yeah, but I am sending this message to the Autobots in the
Yes,
universe, so yeah,
Yes.
it's something like this. We have a detection option available, but it's locked right now. But every time you will have an option in the dialogue in which you can unlock, but you didn't yet. You can click on it, and it will be chosen right away. So you can just accept. It will unlock something something later, and we can just pick this option to carry on. Yeah, Autobots roll out. I like doing voices while reading this. There are some phrases in the internet from the pop culture that you see and you immediately read it out loud like it was intended in the movie. I like the Dark Knight and why so serious? You always do the voice, always. It's so iconic. I want the phrase "I'm Gamedec" to be read like this every time someone plays the game.
And they would say, "I'm Gamedec. I'm Gamedec."
Yeah, but you like
I
the
don't have
flat.
as deep voice as you.
Yeah, but you like to do it flat. I like to do it like it's an achievement. Like I'm Gamedec. Yeah, it sounds cool. Okay, so
I respect that.
yeah, it is my choice. It is my game. It is my playthrough. So you can do whatever you want on your playthrough. So.
Maybe we should have like a character that's actually, a different game deck in the game, and you'll be the voice actor for that character, and this will be the only thing that you're saying as the first meet, like.
Well, we have an option that a game deck can be infotainer, and I think that Matt could be such a game deck. Well, entertaining game deck. I'm game deck. So what is your problem, kid?
So I can see that you're a game deck as well. Hello again, game deck. Yeah, dude. I don't think that my pronunciation is good enough to be in the game. But we can do a background. I'm just a Polish guy who just entered the world in the 22nd century. Yeah.
I think your pronunciation of the word game deck is perfect. So.
It's very hard to mess it up. It's a pretty easy word. Okay, we can deduce that Frodo was talking with the clan leader. We don't have the programmer skills. We don't have the infotainer profession, and I believe we can't even unlock it.
Let's check it. I think on a certain level of playing, players start understanding how this system of aspect work. They start understanding that choosing certain phrases lets them unlock some aspects. So if they go the green path, they are more empathetic. If they go the red path, they just are focused on goals and so on. So at this certain point of playing, players understand what they are doing, and they start to make a strategy in the choices to achieve a certain profession.
So we have a Ken who is in an argument with someone called Zed, and he's shirtless. So I don't know if I want to trust this guy, but he 100% sure that he knows what this game is about. We can just pick some options here, and we have no combat in Gamedec, but that doesn't mean that the game is not violent. So sometimes we have options to kill someone or let him die, etc. But I don't like Zed. I'd like to kill Zed. Yeah.
Oh my god, we did that.
Now Zed's dead. So
yeah,
Zed's dead. Let's talk to Ken.
Zed is dead. It's Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it is from Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
All of this was staged just to inflict the Zed's dead sentence.
You knew that.
Yeah, I like Pulp Fiction. It's one of my most favorite movies of all time.
Yes, I watched it.
I'm a game deck.
So Ken is a professional player and he's conducting his own investigation. You could say that, well, he's not a Gamedec, so he's doing it in a mature way, but he's pissed off at trolls because he was playing a very important match in a game called Godabets. Well, Godabets players are heroes because when they get the hit points, they do not see the hit points, they feel them as the pain, and the more hit points they gain, the bigger pain they suffer. So they are real gladiators, and Ken is immune to pain. I mean, not he doesn't feel pain, but he can endure a lot, and he was a good player, and he thought this match would be a splendid opportunity for his career to unfold, to go into big arenas. And trolls broke his game, so he is really, really angry at them, and he tries to track them down here in Twisted and Perverted.
We have Umbra, and Umbra looks like a veteran of Twisted and Perverted. She has a nice skin, and she started our conversation with sex or significance, so I believe it sounds like a cult leader. So, do you seek for the sense of your life, etc. So yeah, I think we can talk with her about the leader of the cult of the clan, and she's saying something about that the clan is always looking for a people with a potential, and as we had this option before, so we have a deduction, and we can confront that she's the leader. When we click it, it's already picked. We have the clues to unlock this deduction, so we can accept. You can see that we have 3 more, which we haven't unlocked yet. We will have to spend a lot more time in this world. So yeah, we can confront her about being the leader. I know you're the home clan leader in Twisted and Perverted. Okay.
So the players have to understand that of course, much more games in Gamedec than just Twisted and Perverted. And Umbra is the clan leader of the clan Hon, which has a home in another game. And this another game is the game Knight's Code. So it's an interesting thing that members of the clan from another game are doing something in this game. What are they doing? Why are they even here? If they love Knight's Code, another game, so much, and if they are part of the clan over there, why are they playing Twisted and Perverted? Why are they?
And I have to stop.
Yeah. Okay.
Enough. That's enough. That's enough. Let's don't spoil the game for the people who. You can watch the Knight's Code review on the GameStar YouTube channel. So
thank you, Matt.
Yeah, I'm here just to keep track of everything we can say, because Jakub from the marketing team will kill me.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. And he's a nice guy. I don't want him to suffer mentally, thinking about the person who he just killed. I won't respawn in Realium, so I don't want to die. Okay, so Umbra is trying to undress us. So she likes when people obey. She is accustomed to being always in the charge of everything, and she always has to be in the center of attention. So for the sake of this investigation, not that I like it or not, I would just agree to undress. I started undressing, and Ken just felt a little bit uncomfortable.
Yes.
So yeah, and she wants us to go to a very dark alley with her. It's Twisted and Perverted. Someone is trying to seduce me and get me to a dark alley. What bad can happen? Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so Ken walks away. He knows how to behave. And you are going in a very nasty place.
I really like the reflections on this.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. Nobody will bother us here. Okay, so we have the investigation bar again.
Yeah.
So the interrogation bar. And we will try to make Umbra say something more about Fredo and what happened to him. So we can just obey, we can wait for her to speak, or just don't let her push us around. But for the sake of this investigation, I will just play the game of being submissive.
Yes, I did the same so many times. I just couldn't resist.
I like to play the game. I like the role-playing part of this game. So when I'm in a game about flirting and killing someone, I just like to play the game. So if someone is in charge of the conversation, and apparently she knows what she's doing, because just look at the skin, I would just play as she wants, just to get the information I want. We can show fascination, indignation, or indifference, but I would say with fascination.
I remember when I was...
Yeah.
Sorry. I remember when I was asked to describe her skin, how she would look like in this world. There were so many iterations of it. One of the ideas was the net, just the net. And I don't know who said it's not enough. She should wear something more, so you can see just a little part of the net, and all the rest is added.
Okay, so we have unlocked the first secret, that the guy we are looking for, so Fredo, is inside a theater, so in the center, and this is where the magic happens in this game. So yeah, we will have to figure out a way to get to the theater. So we always have one option available on the far right, so let's try to unlock it as well. Okay, do you consider yourself a good detective? Well, I'm a Gamedec. Show confidence. Well, it didn't do anything. It's easy to make fun of things you do not understand. I agree. You have my support. She seems satisfied. Okay, let's ask about Fredo. What she did with Fredo. We've done so much more than looking. Okay. Normally I would condemn, because he's underage, but let's give praise. You have already declared support. This is just one step further. Okay, why not? Yeah, she likes it. So let's ask about Twisted and Perverted, about PvP. Okay, let's pretend to turn the PvP on. Why not?
Yes, it's important, because usually in this game you don't have to feel pain. It's a game. It's a game for pleasure. So you have to agree. If someone asks you asks you if you would like to enter the mode when you feel pain, you have to agree. If you don't, you will not feel pain. It's a safe game.
Okay, so this is kind of awkward for me to read, but a small whip materialized in her hand and she hit me with it, and I pretended to like it.
I have the feeling that with Marcin, we should have done what Ken did and just, turn around, look away, get back here after you're finished.
Okay, so I've just been hit by a whip, and I liked it. I pretended to like it, or did I? I think you should call me mistress. I just got hit by a whip, so let's comply. She likes it. Okay. Ask about Fredo's friends and the girl's fate. She was perfect with guilt ridden. Okay. Handed her over to Fredo. Ask her more. Yeah, okay. So I think that we can ask her again. Teach me pleasure. Okay. I felt the tip of her knife on my back. So yeah, the action is going on. She flirted with us, and right now she wants us to kill us. She wants her to kill. She wants to kill us.
She wants to kill us.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is the shortest way to say it. Ask about the clan and her beliefs. Make her realize she's a victim, or gently ask further. I don't like to generalize, but I believe that girls like to talk, so let's just do this way. I like to talk a lot, so it's just generalization.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have finished the conversation with Umbra, but in Twisted and Perverted you don't die, so she would just respawn, I believe. But she smiled approvingly because she knows what's going on. It's just a game. It's just business. So she kissed me, asked her avatar dissipated in the air. It took me a while to notice she slipped a key to the theater into my pocket.
And now I must say this game surprised me yet again, because until now I thought that there is only one ending of this conversation, that is that Umbra kills Gamedec and then he gets his key. And now I can see, like, what? You killed her and you still got the key. This game is even better than I thought. Really.
Yeah, it's the beauty of Gamedec, but even people who works on Gamedec just getting surprised every day about the outcomes.
I don't know how.
Yeah, right now we have we can see that there's a crashed car.
Yeah.
So we have to look for a way out. We have two options. I can say that we have two options. We can try to hack the system and just remove the car, or get help from the admin in this place. But I would like to speed some things up, so we have another option.
There is another option.
Yeah, we can just inspect the trash can, and we will find a mine, and we can detonate the mine. We cannot die in Twisted and Perverted, so we will just respawn at the beginning of this level. So yeah, we have the key, and here's the theater, so we can just walk in and use the key. Ta-da! This is the theater. Yeah, and we can see that something is going on.
Go further, yes.
Yeah, this is the part in which people are pretty confused on trailers and on gameplays we were showing. So basically, this guy looks like Fredo. He's doing something bad. It looks like he's in the middle of killing someone.
He does what this game is about.
Yeah, but so many stabbings.
Yes, there's something wrong with it.
Someone finally showed up. I may have been expecting it, but the feeling of surprise is so refreshing. A Gamedec. Mr. Haggis got scared. Okay, so this guy knows Haggis. Yes,
and he looks like a villain.
Fredo is completely stripped of his masking skin, and this is important because, as Marcin said, in Twisted and Perverted, many people like to use skins just to pretend they are someone else, or just not to be identified within the game. Because it would be kinda awkward if I would see my neighbor next door playing the Twisted and Perverted in a very elaborative way, and they just hello neighbor, yeah, hello.
Let's say you are a teacher, you are a doctor, you are a professor, you are a priest, and you don't want to get identified in such a game, of course. So you wear a skin, and Fredo was using a skin too. So this jester here had to use a cheat, an illegal program to strip Fredo of his skin.
So we know that Jester was trying to pass a message to Haggis. And we can read that the footage with the boy full name will be published all over the net. It will be entitled Like Father, Like Son. Let's ask what he does want from Haggis. He knows exactly what I want, and it's not about money, so the plot thickens. And what do you want from me? Tell him to listen to orders and wait for further guidelines. What if I refuse? You don't want to say no to me. I don't like people who talk to me like that. It's always getting me like, yeah, hold my beer. No one lends you like jokes and value the truth. If so, then feel free to refuse. How much time do we have? Because we can end this case, I believe, 3 or 4 ways.
Yes.
So how much time do you have, Martin and Magda?
Well, I don't know. 15 minutes maybe?
I can stay here, so...
Okay, so let's carefully read every line of the dialogue in this game.
I'd like... I have a... I remember how this jester was created.
Yeah, tell us more, please.
Yes, originally I came up with an idea that there would be such a player in another game in Knight's Code, which we already talked about, and this player would be so high level that he would carry arrows put into his armor, and those arrows would be ablaze, and he wouldn't notice even. He would laugh at them because they would do nothing to him. So he would just walk like a peacock with all those arrows ablaze put into his armor. And he would ask some interesting questions to Gamedec to probe him psychologically. And Piotr, one of the designers, liked this idea so much about this jester, about this mysterious player, that he decided to expand it to make Jester one of the main heroes of the meta plot. So eventually Jester landed here at the beginning of the story, just to point out that he is someone important. Well, we don't know if he is a he may be a she, it may be a skin. We don't know what he is.
Okay, so I refuse to go and tell Haggis what's happening here. Because I'm a Gamedec, I want to know more.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in the beginning of this theater, and Jester is gone. I like this fella here, so let's talk to him. Hello, stranger. We shouldn't have let the kid do that. Okay, but who is he talking to? Let's introduce ourselves. I'm a Gamedec.
Mm-hmm.
I chose this on purpose, so I can only read I'm a Gamedec. I'm conducting an investigation. What's going on? What are we talking about? Don't you know how corporations work? As the son of the department director, besides, day in, day out, we have those cabins. Stop interrupting me. You're making a big deal out of it. Okay.
Well, he's acting strange. Well, we didn't interrupt him, and he says we did.
Okay, so let's demand an answer. He didn't answer my question. Okay, maybe we should have done something about it, but it was just 2 instances, and he was clever. He did it online in Paradise Beach, so yeah. So it looks like he's not talking to us.
Yes. And he's talking about someone. Yes.
Yes,
a clever kid. Yes.
Hey, buddy, I'm talking to you. Speak up. Give me a sign. Fuck, alright, so you know what you're going to do about midget. Intimidate me with your little bells on your little hat. Okay, so he's talking to Jester.
To Jester, yes.
I haven't seen this line of dialogue before. Again, this game surprises me.
I think everyone on the dev team has a story like that.
Yeah.
I remember that I was trying to find the steps for the QA of the whole quest line with Bob Zappa and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And basically at some point our QA asked me, okay, but when you like experience this bug, did you already have the information that the woman is the tester in the game? And I was like, wait, she's the tester in the game?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's how I found out while describing some kind of bug in the dialogue line.
You know, at the beginning, when I was playing her in the game, of course I knew that she's a tester, but I was playing the game at the first time, I found a way to find out that she is a QA specialist. And then I played the game, I think, 4 or 5 times, and I never got to that information. I don't know what I did wrong.
It's pretty funny that we are here, the writer, the producer, and me, and we are talking about the game we are working on for the last, I don't know, time, several months or even years, and we still see options we haven't seen before.
Yes.
I think that the fact is that, well, in the process of making a case, we have this playthrough that's with the designers and people from the team or from other parts of the company. And usually it goes like this, that we are playing some scene and someone is, and what happens if I do that, for example? And usually there wasn't any response at the beginning, but like the next time we were playing, the designer actually decided to like account for that. So my favorite example is in the Haggis office, the guy walks towards you, but many people, after seeing that he's trying to walk towards you, are trying to run away from him. And basically that was in some of the playthroughs at the beginning of this case, that you could run away from him and he would walk towards you, and it's just hilarious to watch. So the designer responsible for that scene basically decided to have a response for that. So Haggis will basically tell you, what the fuck are you doing? Yes. And can you be professional for once? Yes. So this is like a wonderful response when you want to troll the game, and the game acknowledges it and answers for that.
Yes, and lately I could see Piotr, one of the designers, showing us what would happen if we, after meeting Ken, just shoot him one time after another and after another, how the interaction with him will develop. And he showed us that it worked perfectly. It was so fun to see. It was really funny to see all those little interactions develop. In the case when you just want to have fun in this game and shoot and shoot and shoot and get shot and shoot and get shot, I'm sure that maybe 1% of players will play that way, but it occurs that there is an answer to that. What would happen then?
Yeah, because every case was played as a pen and paper session with different people, so pretty often it was like, what will happen if I do that? Or you're in a bar, what do you do? So it's cool that every case was played as a pen and paper session. So the more people played it, the more outcomes they developed. So it's pretty cool to see how the process took place. But right now we have ended the conversation with this guy, and we are getting again.
You tried to walk somewhere, but you got teleported to the beginning.
But let's do something else.
Yes,
and I can't because I have no. I cannot do anything. The character just went for the same place.
Yes.
I had to show you the mouse so you will just understand what happened, what's happening, because I have no control over my character right now. So what's going on here? The words that came out of my mouth weren't the ones I wanted to say. I'm a Gamedec. So yeah, this is the same I chose before.
Yes.
For the first time. So yeah, nonsense, don't you know how corporations work? Yeah, he's going on with the same dialogue all over again.
Yes. He is talking what he said, and the Gamedec will be talking what he said, but Gamedec can think some other thing. So it was a very good idea of Piotr to come up with this idea that you are in the loop and you repeat what you said, and the character, the NPC, repeats what he said, but you can think some other things and you can come to conclusions.
Yeah, so the gesture just came up.
He spawned in a funny place.
How can we talk? I could do a lot. You see, this one part is I really want to know what's there. Okay. So what now? Will you log out and tell Haggis to do as I say? No.
I remember when I was first writing the phrases of Jester, he had an entirely different character. He was more laughing and more joyful, and Piotr asked me for him to be more like more intellectual, more with more distance. And I said, well, could he be more like Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen? And Piotr said, well, it's a perfect archetype, Dr. Manhattan. So now Jester is a little bit more, he acts like someone who knows so much that he's sometimes surprised by human reactions, which are obvious to us.
Okay, we have no info on Jester. He's a very I cannot do anything right now. Again, it's going over again to the same place. Let's try to check if he's conscious. He kept repeating the same sequence of words and gestures, but his eyes was moving. Yeah, so
this is can I say something? This is an interesting part from my point of view. Well, Piotr was asking me, what can we do in such a situation? And I remember that when we are asleep, then everything goes under devitalization in our body except our eyes. So this is why the REM phase is called like this. It's a rapid eye movement phase of the sleep. So our hands lie still, our legs lie still, but our eyes do not. Which means that players under revitalization can still move their eyes. So I said, Piotr, it is possible that the players would be conscious and that Gamedec would be able to see that they are conscious and that they are in the loop, but their minds are free. And this is the way this mystery can be solved.
Okay, so let's proceed with the investigation. As I said, we can use our eye control. So Gamedec has an arsenal of software available, and you can use it by just bringing up some UI windows in front of you and just picking some options. But when you are, for example, paralyzed or out of control, you can still use your eye control to use something of your equipment, of your software.
Yes, it's quite easy. Just to blink twice or keep your eyes shut for a longer period of time and so on. If you are a Gamedec, you know how to do that. In one of the stories I described the way you touch your teeth activating some programs, but not in this case.
Yeah, and we have my favorite part, so I'm a Gamedec. I'm conducting an investigation, what's going on. Let's try the eye control. I was able to move them and my programs were responding. Good. So let's run the Guardian Angel. Can you tell us something in one sentence? What is the Guardian Angel?
It's an illegal application used widely by Gamedecs. It allows a Gamedec to become invisible, to pass through walls and through objects. You cannot interact with many things being in this Guardian Angel mode, but it's used mainly for following somebody, not wanting to be noticed. Of course, you have to deal with the fact that it is illegal and you can get caught using it, but in this very situation, Gamedec can be quite confident that he will not be caught. So something strange is going on here, admins do not react, so it is rather safe to use this Guardian Angel mode here.
Yeah, and we are in a loop, and it looks like a replay code versus a note from the designer. So the game was supposed to have a replay feature.
Yes.
But it's not implemented, so it wasn't a cheat. So it wasn't a cheat.
It wasn't a cheat.
Okay.
Well, in many games we have a replay option, yes.
Ken is still thinking that we are in the dark alley with Umbra, I believe.
No. He knows we are here.
Yeah, I'm watching you and see you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't say anything, but we can sense the message to him. So let's talk about the loop, and let's wrap it up. Okay, so he's going to try and find a way to get us out.
Yes. At the end of the 22nd century. Sorry, I interrupted you. At the end of the 22nd century, there is a mental way of communicating, but it's rather difficult, and not many people know that. So this is the first time the player tried to use it communicating with Ken, because in Guardian Angel mode, you cannot talk. You can see that the skin of the main hero is still walking and talking to this priest guy.
We can analyze the couch, and it's just a couch. So this is the theater stage, or you can play your fantasies. So it's very metaphoric. Yeah. So is she wearing her own skin? No, she wasn't exposed. So it's only Fredo who is exposed. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you can walk through objects in Guardian Angel.
Yes. So you use the investigator program, and you found out who she is. Is her entry in the Codex? I think it is. Check it.
Is she in the Codex? I don't believe she's in the Codex.
Too bad. Maybe in Infested and Perverted section.
We won't spoil it now, so let's go further. Okay. Let's make eye contact. Okay. I'm a Gamedec Fredo. I'm here to help you. Can you respond with your voice? If not, blink 3 times. Yeah, and he blinked. So yeah, he's conscious, but he can't control himself, just as we couldn't before.
Yes.
So let's activate the investigator, and it's 100% sure that it was Fredo Haggis. So yes. Fredo Haggis, let's check his vitals. His blood pressure was elevated, but still within the norm. Hormones oscillating, but within norms as well. But his sexual arousal, well, ecstasy. Okay, so we have Fredo. We have some information, so let's deduce how to break the loop. So let's go to the deduction, and we have 4 questions we have to answer. So what is the loop? We already know that it's not a cheat. It's more of an exploit, because the code was still was present in the game but not used. So we know there are loops, modifications, and when you die you just return to the asylum. So let's do the exploit option.
Yes.
Is Fredo present? Yeah, he is. He blinked 3 times. He's here.
Well, let's pay attention that not everything is what we see. So Gamedec is a very wise person just to make sure that what he sees is really Fredo, because it could be just an animation. Jester could just make a scene and Fredo could be elsewhere. Now we know he's there.
Yes, what is within the loop? So we have the bed scene, we have the players, and the whole theater. Yeah. I have clicked on a chair and a cat, so I wouldn't say it's just the players. No. I wouldn't even say that it's just the bed scene, because we were talking to the priest and he was outside the bed scene. So yeah, let's do the whole theater.
Yes.
And who are the people in here? Decorations, NPCs, or real people? Well, the priest was watching me. Yeah, he was following me with his eyes. So I believe it's the same as Fredo. And from the dialogue, we can deduce that he was blackmailed as well. So let's do the real people, and we have our final deduction on how to break the loop. And we can overload the woman. She's not paying us, but that's a bad thing to do. We can overload Fredo. I wouldn't recommend to do that, because Fredo is important to Haggis, and Haggis is paying us.
And too bad, because Piotr asked me how to do that, and I was really studying books about overloading hormonally and neurologically person. There is quite an interesting text over there, but It's not a proper option. No, don't do that.
We can do that. I have never done it before, so we can do that, and it would just conclude the case, I believe. So
Well, I don't know. I don't remember now how it ends.
we can state that we can't break the loop, and just go and be locked out by Jester and go to Haggis to talk with him. And we can just overload the system, the game engine, with so many objects that it would just crash. So let's do that. Let's overload the system.
I remember when we were sitting at the room of designers and we were discussing what would break such a loop, and finally we got to the solution that this is quite a good idea.
Yeah, let's do some cats and let's do some chairs. The cat is more fun because of the sound effects.
Everybody chooses the cat.
I've heard that the sounds of the cat are from our sound designer. Yeah, or not, Magda?
I have no idea.
Do you know the story? I've heard that the sounds are made.
The cat sound was in the project before I got here, so
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, I've heard that the sounds of the cat are the sounds of our sound designer's cat, private cat. So.
Well, I know that Agnieszka has a cat, so that would make sense. Yeah. Okay.
I will have to get Agnieszka here next time to talk about the music and the sound effects, and I will ask her if that's true. If that's true. Okay, release Fredo. Okay, let's go.
I'm missing an interaction with him here. There should be an interaction with him here, I think. In the final game, we will make one here. Just a few words.
Okay, it's not that easy.
Yes, you thought you could escape, but not with Jester.
Okay, really, Gamedec?
How shallow are
Okay,
people?
okay. He paralyzed me, so I couldn't move a finger. Okay. But we have Ken, our brave sidekick.
Yeah.
So, Chief, I have a plan. Let me know when you're ready. Well, let's do it now. Okay. This is the best part.
Well, it's a forced solution, I would say.
This is the best part because nobody expects a car inside a theater just spawning in the front of the scene. But Jester's out.
It's how...
Actually, for me, it's like the moment when I thought, well, Ken is my best companion right now. Because it's kind of like, it's cool.
Okay.
We can do great things.
The kid seems to be in a trance. He kept rhythmically opening his mouth and making spasmodic motions. So, okay, as if he were still copulating and killing. Yeah, he was in the loop for like 4 days, almost 4 days.
Well, quite a lot of time. So,
let's take him outside.
Well, in Twisted and Perverted, you cannot just log out just like that. So you've got to go to the metro.
To the safe place, yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like metro.
Asylum. Yes, to the asylum.
It doesn't look like the subway. Nice view. Okay, you again. Give me the child. The game is all about killing and it has a lot of tools for taking someone's life. Okay, so the mines explode only when you step on them while walking too fast. Use the mouse wheel to adjust your speed and pass them by safely. Okay. Find Fredo before his brain gets fried. Okay, it doesn't sound good.
It doesn't sound good because it means that Jester used something, did something that is not allowed in this game. Now we know that Fredo could get some serious problems, not just being killed in the game, but something is hacked within his helmet. And now we know why the serial number of the helmet was wanted.
Yeah, we can see a cutscene right here that some woman is trying to get help from another Gamedec with a manipulated photo. So... can you play a female Gamedec and does this influence the character interactions? We will have some skins available to pick at the beginning of the game.
Yes.
During the Kickstarter, we unlocked several additional skins available. So I don't think we were talking about what skins we will be having in the game. I think it would be safe to say that we asked people what skins they would like to see in the game, and I can just spoil it just a little bit, but some of these options will be available in the game. So maybe it's yours. I won't say anything more because Kuba will kill me again. Okay, so yeah, we want to Gamedec to be Gamedec to be a community-driven game. So we take every feedback very seriously. So if you have anything you would like to add, just go to our Discord server or write something on our Steam community board.
Yes, go here, please. I have a big lag. Do you see the other scene on the roofs?
Yeah, right now we are talking. We're just watching the scene with Geoffrey Haggis and his Alfredo.
And Alfred. Okay, no, not Alfredo. He's Alfred.
Yeah,
so
it's very similar names. So
we are seeing here some scenes that shouldn't be here. They are shown to us for some reasons, and they tell a story that is hidden behind this case. So a player who pays attention to what is written will understand more and more, and will know that it is more than just blackmailing director.
Yeah, I would like to show you something. Let's do it here. Yeah. So, the mechanic of this level works that whenever we got killed by the henchman, the robot, or the mine, a portion of Fredo's health bar is going down. So, we have to find Fredo before his brain gets fried. So we have to watch carefully where we step and what we do. And Jester here is telling us to stop. He's giving us an option to just log out and go to Haggis and tell him what happened. So
we are in difficult situation because we know that the more mistakes we make, the more Fredo will suffer. We also discover that he is not a very nice guy. On the third hand, we know that although our mistakes will make the brain of Fredo suffering, it is not us who designed it like this. It is Jester who designed it like this. So he could turn it off, but for some reasons he doesn't do that. So what will you do?
Yeah, those scenes were added in one of the builds, and I believe that the first one I have played didn't have these scenes. So I remember when I was playing the Backers build for the first time, I was very surprised that these scenes were added on those rooftops.
It was a long time iterating them, because when you write sentences that should fit into such small places, they should be really short but communicative. So it wasn't easy to pass an information to the player, important information about what's going on with Mr. Haggis and his employees, and why he's so sad, why he's drinking, why he's yelling at Fredo, what Fredo did.
We have a question from the chat. Does COVID-19 makes problem to develop the game? Well, our CEO says that all of the team should be in the office working on the game, because it shortens the time of talking about the game or solving some problems. But we are working remotely from March, I believe, so it's almost 6 months. And there was a time for adjustments when we had to just switch to remote working, but I think it's all sorted out right now, and I don't know if Magda agrees, but I don't see a difference in working from the office or working remotely.
Well, I think in terms of how fast we are developing the game, there isn't much change actually. There were a few pipelines that needed to be adjusted, few problems with communications that came into light when we started working from home. Because, for example, there used to be this quite natural trend of talking about some kind of issue or decision with the person that's mostly connected to it, but it's like you go to someone's desk and you just talk about it, you decide something, and you go into your separate ways, and there is no sign and no paper trail of the decision. So the rest of the team, for example, doesn't know, and the exact way of thinking in doing everything at home office, it's just being on a private chat with someone and deciding stuff. And again, no one knows, but this time we have a paper trail, so it's a bit better. But we managed to actually funnel all of the communication into public chat, so everyone is on the same page, everyone knows the same stuff. So I would say it's not that kind of a problem right now. I think the meetings that are, for example, brainstorming meetings that are way better when you have a whiteboard or a way to visualize ideas are pretty hard during the COVID, because you can stream some stuff, but you don't have the physicality of writing on the same space. And I would say it's very hard on leads and producers, because most of the time we are just on some kind of calls and meetings, and we just don't get our headphones even off during the day. But for the development team and looking at the speed of creating content for the game, I would say it's not that big of an issue.
Okay, so Jester wants to speak about the things he was doing to us. So he says that he's a contractor, and Starlet, so the girl in the coma, my bad,
Mm-hmm.
was hiring him to take a look about some things for her girlfriend, and the secretary of director Haggis was blackmailed and sexually taken advantage of, and she wasn't the only one. There was another woman taken advantage by the son by Haggis' son. So they just want to bring justice to Haggis and to Fredo, because Fredo was raised up as a rich boy, so he thought that he can just get away with everything. So let's ask about his plan. It's like the Bond movies where you make the villain say everything to you just before you do a counterattack.
He's monologuing, yes.
Okay, so let's more about what Fredo did. He sexually abused the woman working for his father. Yeah, so he's not a nice boy. Okay, leave
Yes,
Fredo to Jester or log off with Fredo.
And we remember that one person in the theater said that Fredo was clever and he did it online and he did it in Paradise Beach. So this is how intricate and complicated Gamedec is. Fredo did something very bad to two women in working for his father, but he didn't do it in his body, he did it virtually. So does that mean that it is a lesser crime just because it was online and just because he was 16? So it gets complicated.
Yeah, so Fredo is out, Haggis is here,
Mm-hmm.
just sitting and talking. Let's do a professional approach. Okay. So he wants to take him to the doctor's office. Okay, he has some questions. Let's tell him about. Let's go professionally. We finally able to get him out. Continue. Tell him about the hacker. Jester. Tell him about the message. We're just wrapping these things up. So if you have any questions, this is now the time to ask. We will just be sitting here for the next like 5 minutes. If no questions will appear, we'll just end the stream. Okay, so tell him about the scene in the theater that Fredo was killing a woman over and over again. Let's stress the seriousness of the situation. I like this approach because when we stress someone the seriousness of the situation, we will have leverage in talking about the payment. I don't know if what was the case and what was the purpose of this, but I think that's the option. Okay. Mention the clan, imprisoned admin. No, let's just get back to the hacker. So ask point blank if he knows Jester. Yeah, he knows him. He's no stranger to him. Okay, let's say it's a blackmail. Yeah, we have a copy of the recording, and we can decide if you want to mention the personal copy, do not mention the personal copy, or even blackmail Haggis with this copy. So, I'm a nice guy. I haven't done it before, so let's blackmail him, just for the fun. I'm really curious what's here. I have a copy and its signatures. I can make it go away for something extra. I despise blackmail and people who resort to it. You saved my son, that's all that matters for me. Alright, I pay extra for the video. Yeah. Great. Ask about the molestation. Leave it. Okay, that's a bun. And this is the end of this Backers build. There's a free demo available of Gamedec on Steam and GOG, GOG.com. So let's just encourage people to go and check the demo before it expires, because it is expiring today at the 11:59 p.m. So the only way you can just play the Backers build or the demo after that will be just trying to participate in one of our contests, which we are doing on Gleam, Discord, or social media. So yeah, just like it's stated here. Thank you and goodbye. Do you have any questions for us? Thanks so much for the stream and the next view and Gamedec. It's hard to wait and release, but I think it will be an amazing game. Good job and stay healthy. Thank you very much, Sonky. Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure. I would like to thank everyone who participated in the stream. So Martin and Magda, thank you very much. I think that during the stream we had a very nice talk about lore and origins and how the game is made and what decisions stood behind some options in the game. I have learned a lot of things. I have no idea were present in the game and outside the game about the process of making Gamedec and writing Gamedec, and why some people had this motivation and some people have this motivation. But I believe that it's just a small fraction of the game, and you will have to remember that the decisions you have made in this playthrough will reflect on some of the next cases you will have to play in the full version of the game.
Of course,
so, yeah.
yes.
So it's nice to have Jester on your side, but it's also nice to have Haggis on your side.
But sometimes you have to sacrifice powerful friends just to do the right thing.
Yeah, this is. I will have to ask Magda if this will be in the final version of the game, or is this just a wrap up for the demo?
This in that form is just a wrap up for the demo. So
Okay.
it will be played out differently in the final version of the game.
Yeah, because this is a window of just wrapping up the case, so we can read about the decisions we've made and what's the outcome of it. So we don't have every answers, but I believe that in some of my walkthroughs I will have an information that Haggis is my friend and that Jester is my friend as well, because I've listened to his story and I know what's going on. So it is possible to conclude this investigation having both of them like you. Okay, we have no questions, so we can just say goodbye and just walk off to our very normal lives in the reality.
Everyday life in reality, yes. That's what I wanted to
So
say.
once again, thank you very much, Marcin. Thank you very much, Magda. It was
Thanks
a real,
for having us here.
yeah, it was a real pleasure talking to you. And I'm so sorry about the dad jokes and everything I have said just to make you laugh, because this is who I am.
We've managed. We've managed to live with that. It's okay.
Yeah, I love dad jokes, so sorry about that. Yeah, I believe we will do some extra dev streams in the later phases of game development. So just to show you some other parts of the game, or just to talk about some parts of the game or the game development. But I would just have to leave you here with it.
Yes, if Matt asks me a question, I will answer for an hour. So
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do a video content with you, because I will have to prepare just one question, and I have a material for 4 footages of 20 minutes each. So yeah, you are making my work very easy. Okay, guys, thank you very much, and see you again.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.